System malfunction. Welcome to the future.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Oh my gosh. I woke up this morning thinking it was Wednesday and it was freaking Thursday. I said, jackpot. I love those days when I wake up thinking it's the previous. It's like, yes. Half day tomorrow. But unfortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, this guy over here is having some internet problems. He's getting about a fifth of the speed he's supposed to be getting and about a fifth of the upload he's supposed to be getting. So I'm going to be having a technician coming out here tomorrow, double check all the lines and stuff. So I want to apologize in advance if it is up and down. So far, it seems like it's okay, but I just want to give you a heads up just in case. But I got them coming out tomorrow afternoon, so I won't be able to do my afternoon stream, but it will be all good for tomorrow night's hangout. And there's a couple other games I'm going to introduce tomorrow. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Oh, yeah, we're going to have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tomorrow night, too. No Googling. No Googling. It's hard not to, though, right? Oh, what's up, everybody? The night off. Still put in work. I want to thank Kib Kitty and SRB for hanging out with me, doing one of the highlights with me. Definitely go check it out if you haven't. It's already hit 1,000 views, 1,000 something. Thank you for the subs, Stacy Renee. Thank you to the new subs today. What's up, Kevin Kraft? Yeah, Bautismo. Bautismo's on it. What's up, Kib Kitty? Thank you for putting that in there in the beginning. I always appreciate that. What's up, Carol Claus? How you doing? Are you from Crime Lines and Lies? Look familiar. What's up, Truthful Soul? Good evening. Or is it it's morning, right? You're like way ahead of us. I forget. Like, how many hours? So it's 6:45 my time. What time is it for you, Truthfuls? Are you like 7 hours ahead of us, I think? Or more than that, isn't it? What's up, Cassie? Ava, what's up, lady? See you everywhere. She's on it. I always love Ava's opinions, thoughts, and theories. She always has really good ones. I appreciate you, Ava. And other channels, too. You'll see her be typing all sorts of stuff in other channels. It all makes sense. Facts. What's up, SRB? Kid Kitty. I'm being lazy and not typing. At least you're honest, right? Oh, you definitely got a sub Grizz. For sure. If you love that intro, I love it. It's a badass intro. Yeah, cherry's early for once, huh? Yeah, it is. Yeah, because usually we don't even see you until like late. Right as we're ending the show, usually. If you need to hit me up, send me messages on these platforms right here. Go ahead and send me any kind of articles or whatever. Just send them there. That's where you send the stuff. I've had no sleep. Aw. Well, I hope you get some good sleep. And thanks for hanging out in the replay if you do that as well. I appreciate your support, Truthful Soul. Oh, yeah. Gmail. Wait, do I have 2 Bautismo messages about the same thing? Hold on a minute. I do. Well, shoot. I got another one I gotta put a new one in there. Thank you, SRB. Gotta find my glasses. All right, everybody. There's a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. Couldn't believe it. Stuff came out on my night off. I went ahead and made some highlights anyway. And yeah, both cases, Idaho and Oklahoma. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to mix it up again. We had one of these episodes, I think it was Saturday night, where we kind of talked both and both. So really, it's whatever you want to talk about, either of these cases. And even if we flip back and forth, it's no problem because I'll be putting timestamps in the description anyway. It's always helpful because then they can actually see like what chapters and stuff. Pretty neat. Let me see here. Probably going to Idaho 4 first, but if wildfire smoke, what? Oh no. Oh no. Well, I hope you're safe. It's not good. Yeah, not good. All right, I'm going to throw the sign up in the window and open up the door. There's the number. And if you want a panel invite, you're more than welcome. Let me put the sign in the window. There we go. And let me give you the unlocked door. You're more than welcome to hop up. If there's anything you want to talk about, let's go ahead and chat about it. And we're going to get into these two cases tonight. Neighbor probably has a bonfire for... What? That's crazy. So it like comes... What? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'd have to see that on video. I bet that's pretty wild. Fire smoke from Canada is being drug into the valley. That's crazy. Are you serious? Wildfire smoke? In Iowa too? What's up, man? Damn, I didn't know there was so much fire smoke that could... It gets bad late summer, early when the mountain ranges surrounding us catch on fire. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was like that. So what, do they catch on fire from lightning or just people being stupid or what? What's up, Kevin?
Not much.
I ain't never heard of that shit. Fucking... Man, they must be having a lot of fires then if Dre can see it in Iowa.
5085.
Oh, can you turn that down, please?
I already did. I just realized I forgot when I hit the button.
Let me see. You sent me a pic of the storms. Let me see here. Do me a favor. Send it to my evil CJ. Cassie. I got my evil CJ up. It gets dry out here. It's bad in Canada right now. Wow, there it is. Thank you. Wow, there's supposed to be mountains there? Hold on 1 second, everybody. I'll share it here. Smoke covering the mountains. Here, let me share that. We'll go ahead and get the Space Age funky beat going. Yeah, it doesn't even look like mountains are behind that.
This looks like rain clouds.
Yeah, or like no mountains at all. Do you have a do you have a picture with the mountains?
Yeah. This work.
Holy crap. Yeah, I need to see like a before and after. You should be clear as day. Really? Last year we took a box fan and taped a furnace filter to it to help clean the air in our house. What? And you'd rather deal with that then some tornado cells?
Tornadoes are fun.
I mean, that sounds like, man, if you got to put a filter on a box fan to clean the air in your house, that's not good, right? Let me see here. Wow. Okay, so wow, so holy crap. That's crazy. Freaking, you can definitely see the mountains in the background there. Holy crap. Dang. Yeah, you can definitely see it. Let me go back to that. Where's the other one at? And then that's what it. Wow. that's pretty bad. The way they should look. That is nuts. So that's fire from Canada? From the wildfires in Canada, and then it gets pulled down up there. I don't know. I'd rather deal with a couple tornado cells myself. That's crazy. You gotta. What's the filter look like?
Probably black.
Like a furnace filter or something, and then I mean, now I'm worried. Supposed to be better tomorrow. So you got tomorrow night off, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
You want to play? Were you ever a fan of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Is that your final answer? Yeah,
Final answer.
Yeah. I actually loved Millionaire.
Well, would you like to be the first guest on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tomorrow night, man?
Only if I can use DuckDuckGo, since you said no Google.
Yeah, you can't use. Well, I mean, how's anybody gonna know? You know what I mean? Like
exactly, you wouldn't. I just mute. I mute, talk to my phone, unmute, and give you the answer. It's that easy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the sport.
I know.
It's the thrill, but yeah, we'll be playing a couple games of that. Have Family Feud. Kib Kitty, are all your sisters, Dre, Kib Kitty, or your sisters gonna be able to make it tomorrow night? We'll probably start off the Family Feud around 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Maybe a little bit before that. Because, you know, I got to say hello to everybody for like a half an hour. And then we get into the nitty gritty. And I was thinking about, could have like, is anybody familiar with Trivial Pursuit?
Didn't that used to be an old game show too?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing.
I know I've heard of it. I just can't remember what it's from.
I mean, it is really fun. But what I was thinking is whoever's on, you know, like each person can have a turn for each question on Trivial Pursuit, and you can play as one because you can't split it up on that one. But I thought, I'm like, you know what? Since I got the Twitch stream stuff figured out, why don't I, you know, play some of these other games with everybody since we're doing that? So I'm like, yeah, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I got that. I got a bunch of games on there, but I thought Who Wants to Be a Millionaire would be a really cool freaking game to show on the Hangouts along with Family Feud. It's pretty suspenseful. Have a guest up at a time, and then whoever loses, you know, the next guest gets to come up and try their whack at the millionaire. I wonder if it's got to be damn hard to get it. Have you ever played the game like a board game or a video game, Kevin? Of Who Wants to
Once
Be
or
a Millionaire?
twice.
How
My
far?
thing is, I'd always rather be on the actual show and actually win the real money than
Well, I think
just
anybody
bragging
would,
rights.
man.
But
Oh, on tomorrow night's show, bragging rights. Is that what you mean?
yeah, no, that's what I mean. I'd rather win the money
Dude.
than bragging rights.
Well, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? I'll make who. Dude, wouldn't that be cool though if somebody got the $1 million and I was able to make a clip out of your $1 million win and post it on my YouTube? That'd be sweet. I don't
Too bad we don't know anybody that can make stuff to potentially give out for prizes when you finally do a game night with real prizes.
I'm trying to get bumper stickers still, man.
Yeah. I'm still waiting to hear back from people.
Yeah, I need bumper stickers. Came up with this idea like 2 months ago. I need them. I have Trivial Pursuit game upstairs. Yeah, I thought we'd try and check that one out, but for sure Family Feud and then introduce Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then maybe do some LA Noire after that. Just do a little introduction to it. Give everybody an idea of what it's like. Be neat though. Definitely Family Feud. Definitely. And then definitely Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I think that's going to be really cool too. So there's a lot of shit that came out last night. Here, and I'll throw the link out there if anybody else wants to hop up too. Definitely a lot of shit that came out Tuesday night, Wednesday late night. The two highlights that I put up or that went up today were actually made last night. And it took them that long. I don't know what was going on with YouTube, but the one that uploaded first in the morning was actually the second one that I was trying to upload. And then the other one, I don't even think it got uploaded until 5 or something. It was crazy. I don't know. It didn't make sense, but yeah, those were from last night, not today. What's up, Kid Kitty?
Not much. How's it going?
It's going. Just chilling.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Does everything sound okay? I got the technician coming out tomorrow to fix the lines or whatever's going on.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
We had some storms coming through, and a couple branches, I think, fell and hit the cable line or something, and maybe it just might be a little loose in their little box thing up there or something. But I went to the backyard, and I saw a couple decent sized branches laying on the ground from the recent storm, and I'm like, that's probably what happened. Probably hit that cable line and bounced off. Oh, I thought SRB popped up.
No squirrels this time.
Yeah, that was the first one. Squirrels ate my cable line.
Bet it was yummy.
Yeah, I bet
All
it
that
was.
nummy information.
Yeah, that insulation. It had to taste, a little spicy.
It's only spicy if it's electrical insulation. Don't ask me how I know.
Well, that's the
We
shit
have
that's the shit that was spilling in East Palestine. That chemical.
That ain't right.
It's the truth. That's the chemical that made the stuff you're talking about, man.
Actually, yeah, you are correct, because it is part of PVC. It's the main component of it. They had something else to solidify it.
Yes, sir.
Which
All
I was
that
trying.
shit burning.
Yeah, I was trying to do some digging into that a couple weeks ago, and I guess some of the people that were responding there actually came down really, really sick after they left.
Oh yeah, man. They were all having issues. All the first responders, the people that were out there doing cleanup, yeah, they're all getting sick, man. And I can't imagine what's going to show up in 10 or 15 years. What's up, Tech Death Hippie? How you doing? I can't imagine what's going to show up in the medical report in 10, 15 years after all the,
Well, I thought I heard not too long ago that a resident has cancer now.
That'd be pretty quick, I would think.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
it's
I mean,
possible, but I would think that might be from something else.
yeah, you're talking. It's only been what, 4 months, maybe.
Yeah.
I would say like at least a few years. But I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to be something with the lungs, because all that humongous plume of smoke that was just, oh, I couldn't see it anymore after it went up in the air a little bit and then dissipated. And it's like, my ass, you see people taking Twitter videos and shit, fucking going from left side to right side, and you can see that whole thing just is. I can't imagine.
Like a rainbow.
Oh, it was crazy. Thick. Huge,
Yeah.
Like it was. I can't imagine breathing that shit in, and then all, not just the smoke, but all the particles that fell down as that
Right.
plume was floating on, just all over the crops, animals, especially the crops, though. That cannot be good.
That's got to hurt a lot of farmers' business, that's for sure.
Well, it's just introducing plastics into your diet, which then your body will absorb it. That's why they're worried about the pollution in the oceans and stuff, because fish are starting to eat that. And then people are eating fish or creatures that are in the water, and then that transfers to the human body, and pretty soon we're going to be made of somewhat small percentage of plastic.
They actually say with all the preservatives we eat these days, years ago, like in ancient times before they had a human body would basically decompose in about a year. They said with all the preservatives and stuff in our bodies now, it takes 5 to 10 years for it to fully decompose.
Yep, just for bigger apples and juicier lemons.
Well, not just that, the preservatives they put in, like pop and stuff like that. Heck, a lot of meat has preservatives in it, which is why it lasts longer than any other time in the history. That's why I like my Dumas, no extra crap's added.
Yum, and it is good stuff.
Yeah, Dumas is good.
I didn't know Kid
ETS.
Kid knew about Dumas.
Huh?
I didn't know you knew about Dumas.
I used to live in Ellett.
Ah, okay. So I'm out that way about once a week. Was actually just out in Ellett.
I can't stand the smell inside there. I usually don't go in there.
It's not
John
as bad
goes
as
in there.
They actually have redone the inside, and it doesn't smell anywhere near as bad as it used to.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, because like the store itself that you could actually walk in, since when I was a kid, it's I think expanded like 10 times the original size. It's huge now. But yeah.
Like walking in the grocery store and you walk over by the shrimp and all that. Oh, it just makes me gag.
Oh yeah, there's no seafood smell there at all.
Ugh. We have a busy weekend here this weekend. We got the crab festival going on this weekend. It's a real big deal. Bike week. So we don't really venture out much on the weekend of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it takes what normally takes 10 minutes to get to some place. It takes you over an hour because of traffic.
That's why you walk.
So that's too far to walk.
He said that's why you walk. Oh,
The
you guys
casino
are-
boat's only right across the main highway. We're about a quarter of a mile from the main road, and it's across the road, the main road, the casino boat, but I won't go on it.
Woo!
I don't like being out in the deep ocean.
I don't blame you there.
Too many sharks and too many alligators.
Yeah, I heard something on the news that shark attacks are on the rise, like by a crazy percentage or something. In the U.S., I don't know. Has there been a lot of shark attacks this year or something? Because I was kind of confused.
I haven't heard of any shark attacks, but in the 2 years I've been here, there's been 3 instances where sharks have come up to shore, to the beach.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean,
no thanks.
I think it's because the water's getting warmer, so they're venturing in a little closer to stay cooler, right? Or is it the other way?
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
No. Sometimes they just get lost and end up by the beach. But alligators are mating right now, so that's why there's so many of those.
Oh wow! I bet there are.
I know.
So did they make
Makes
a
me
similar?
wonder why I moved here.
Did they make a similar sound to the frogs in SRB's pool?
I have no idea. No idea. Don't want to know.
What, the alligators?
I just had to make a joke about what was going on in SRB's pool the other day with all the frogs, because that just makes me smile. What was going on?
Hey,
I
don't
don't
knock
know,
the
I can't-
frogs.
I'm not
can't-
knocking the frogs.
Well, listen, I figured out why the frogs were so noisy, because it was mating season. They were out there being bad.
Uh-oh.
On my pool tarp.
You're all crackly. What
Again?
happened? Yeah, what happened?
Okay, no,
You
then
got
I'm
it fixed.
bouncing out. Oh yeah, no, I'm bounce out. Let me try my other set.
Okay.
I'll try to come back in a bit. Bye.
Okay.
Frogs.
Yeah, I don't know. She had it fixed last time. I was surprised it was crackling. So, let me see here. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that came out last night with both cases. That's why I went ahead and put both up there for tonight, because there is a lot of stuff to go over for each of them. There is a video I haven't played for everybody yet, but we all know that McFadden, his mom, had received a text from him that he was going to unalive himself because he wasn't going back, and she also did not make any calls to law enforcement after receiving that text. Now, I had heard that she had sent Holly's mother a message, but I don't know if that's actual facts yet. What is that whistling noise?
I don't hear anything.
I did.
I don't
hear it,
either.
though. Oh, maybe it was
Oh.
SRB.
I do hear a bird.
Maybe it was SRB. Maybe it was a bird. Yeah, a bird.
Yeah, I thought it was like somebody's pet bird or something, so I didn't say anything.
It might have been SRB. I think she was out in the wilderness. A bird, maybe. So I had heard that his mother had contacted her mother, but I don't. It was in one of these videos that we watched, but there has been some stuff that's came out that's hasn't necessarily lined up. Now, there was some stuff that came out yesterday about Holly on her divorce, 2021 divorce, that she had put no minor children in the papers. The prison chaplain was the secretary of the sheriff, and it was her son that did the check, the one and only check on Jesse after he was released. There was more information, another sit down with Elizabeth Vargas on News Nation with the mom and dad of Ivy. So there's some more information there. The landlord, we found out yesterday, the landlord was illegally renting the house to Holly and Jesse. We also found out that Holly and Jesse didn't have a lease. They were listed as caretakers for the property. So there was no lease. Jesse and Holly were paying that guy to just hang out.
Very suspicious.
It is very. Now, the landlord, I'm just going to call him the landlord. I don't know if you really can call him the landlord if he was renting the place illegally. Because then he's not, I don't know. Is he a landlord? Well, isn't he a caretaker that hires caretakers?
I would think that if he owns the property and they were living there full time and he knew about it, that would make him technically a landlord. But even if it was an illegal setup that they were in.
I don't know. I would just assume he'd be a caretaker that hires caretakers. And I had his name written down. Can somebody put his name in the chat? I had his name written down and I lost my note. I didn't get to organize my notes today. Busy frickin' day. I'm glad I got a half a day tomorrow. What's up, Ray? All right, so I'm going to watch this News Nation video. They're talking about the mother spoke to Ellie, but I had never heard that. I thought she didn't. Uh-oh.
What? What's uh-oh?
Ready for this? Sheriff's investigator told a judge, this was in a request for a search warrant, that Jesse McFadden called his mommy on the evening of April 30th and talked to LaDonna McFadden, that's mommy, about killing himself. LaDonna McFadden told a reporter, like a couple days later, after the massacre, the mass suicide that he committed, and then the mass murder suicide, she said to the reporter, "My heart is breaking for the victims. I don't understand it. I never, ever would have expected anything like this." And yet she told a sheriff's investigator that monster called her on the evening of April 30th, talked about killing himself. So that's pretty new. Pretty shocking. Also, some other exclusive information tonight. That Oklahoma farmhouse that was being rented to Jesse McFadden by a landlord named Raymond Paget. Raymond had no legal authorization to rent that house because he was in an ugly divorce with his estranged wife, and that thing was in receivership, which meant he wasn't supposed to rent or collect rent of any property, let alone this one. So this was an illegal rental. Did he know that he was renting illegally to a guy
who was a sex
offender with teenage kids that were going to live in the house?
Of course he did, because he was pocketing that shit. He was pocketing that shit. I wonder what the connection is between him and Jesse, or him and that network and Jesse. You know, that network. Where's the connections there? Where's the 6 degrees? There's 6 degrees.
House? Is there a reason why he callously demanded, get your stuff and get here, to those victims' family members who came to figure out what happened?
Yeah, because he didn't
Paget
want to
has
get
quite a
caught.
criminal past himself, it turns out. Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, domestic abuse, all in April of 2012. And then in January of 2006, another assault and battery. All right, there's that.
Keep
then
going.
There's Holly. What did Holly know before?
And also, if you guys remember from one of the first interviews where when we didn't know, we knew that we knew he passed away. We knew there was 2 adults. One of them was Jesse. We didn't know anything else at that point. And that's when the aunt and the mom, the aunt and the mom got on News Nation. And that's when the mom said it was my daughter and her 3 children and 2 friends, which we already knew the 2 friends because of the Amber Alert stuff. And then the press conference from Ellie after they canceled the Amber Alert and what they said, they canceled it because they found evidence that they didn't need to have it open anymore. And so that's when she said in that interview, it's one of the first ones from Banfield, she said in that interview, Holly's mom said, I had those kids more than Holly did. We raised those kids. So then that made me go, wait a minute. What the hell is on Holly's record? Why in the hell was her mom raising her kids instead of her? What the hell happened there? I'm wondering if she's going to go into that.
And what could she have done to change what happened to her and her family and those 2 visiting kids? What? Well, it turns out that she did a few deceptive things in her past. When she was getting a divorce from her previous husband, Joe Guess, they filed documents that said, there are no minor children of the marriage and none are expected. Problem with that is that the divorce notice was December 2021, and they'd been married for 13 years. And Holly had a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 17-year-old. So there's a real good chance that little Tiffany at 13 was theirs. And there is a chance as well that Michael at 15 was theirs as well.
Ooh, there you
Why
go.
would they lie? She'd already moved in with the sex offender. Was this a possible reason to lie? You don't say anything about us having kids, and maybe you can get out of child support. I don't know. Maybe. But they lied, both of them, on that divorce. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find news.
Yeah, they did. And I don't know. I just don't understand how you can. I don't know. She must have had him bamboozled or something, because to sit there and think that it's taken 10 plus years to try and adopt those children. She must have had him bamboozled or something, especially when they have an agreement with each other that they're supposed to do background checks for each other's, significant other. And he just said that she told him that there was nothing on the background. All people got to do is look. You just type it in Google. Pretty easy. I mean, hell, we've had so many people in the show type it into Google and they'd be amazed. Some of the comments in previous streams from replays, people even put, I searched it in Google and I just realized there was da 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 in a certain mile radius. I'm like, damn, yeah. It ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. I don't think that at all. I think they knew they really wanted to collect state benefits, so they lied about having a dad. Interesting. Very interesting, Ava. Yep, it was all easier. Yeah, so there's that one. I don't know. Did it say that the mom spoke to LE? Because I didn't catch that part in the video.
I didn't hear anything about it.
I didn't. Did you, Kid Kitty? Did anybody else? Because I didn't catch McFadden's mother spoke to Ellie in that whole clip. It had a lot of interesting information, though. So, yeah, check this out. This is about the prison chaplain. Check this out.
The deception is just starting to make.
We're just going to play a couple update videos here on Henryetta, switch to Idaho forward, and then we might switch back to this towards the end, too.
Make me sick, right? Yesterday, Brian, it was the prison chapel was used for this
What's up,
guy's
Duckett?
marriage. The chaplain of the prison conducted the marriage, and the sheriff's assistant was the witness to a sex offender's marriage to a woman with 3 kids. And you tried to get a hold of this chaplain. What happened?
We did. We wanted to talk to the chaplain. I had called him yesterday and left him a voicemail, didn't get a response. You mentioned it. I mean, no one wants to talk when it comes to this case. No one. But I thought maybe since it's a chaplain, he would open up to us, share something, let us know why he performed the wedding ceremony, what he knew about Jesse McFadden and Holly. Take a look. We went to his house. He actually lives about an hour from here in Tulsa, and went to the door. They were watering the lawn there. There was clearly someone home. Knocked on the door, trying to talk to chaplain Kenneth Farnham, but no one came to the door, Ashley. And I also did get a text from him that just said, no comment, period. And that was it.
Well,
So apparently
gosh.
we are not going to be hearing from the chaplain.
Well, maybe not this way, but he better answer someone as to why he legally married a sex offender to a woman with 3 teenagers and didn't sort of red flag that and let it happen at the prison chapel. And then there's that witness, the sheriff's administrative assistant, who also is in charge of registering sex offenders. That's what she's supposed to be doing for a living. That's what her LinkedIn says. So her son is a sheriff's deputy. He made the only on-site compliance check for Jesse McFadden. What did the sheriff's department say about all this when you went to knocking?
Well, first of all, we've been trying to talk to the sheriff's department for quite some time. I have been, your team has been. Yesterday, we were trying to get to the bottom of what was going on with.
Yes, they were married in prison, ATS.
What?
Yeah. Just wait. You got, dude, just wait. I made a highlight video about it. I know it's a half an hour. I apologize. It's really not a highlight. It's more like a mini program. But seriously, wait. Oh my gosh. Okay, if nobody's really seen this video of it, oh my gosh, this is going to blow your mind. Here is the link to have it for your own playlist. Trust me. Trust me. Listen very closely, everybody, okay? Listen very closely. Who the hell does what in this? Just listen. Who does what? Oh my gosh, you guys got to watch my highlight video in this part because I talk about ice cream.
Used for this guy's marriage. The chaplain of the prison conducted the marriage, and the sheriff's.
I talk about, oh my gosh. You'll see what I mean if you go to my highlight and just even watch just this part. You'll see my commentary.
Assistant was the witness to a sex offender's marriage to a woman with 3 kids. And you tried to get a
This
hold
is
of this
ridiculous.
chaplain. What happened?
We did. We wanted to talk to the chaplain. I had called him yesterday and left him a voicemail, didn't get a response. You mentioned it. I mean, no one wants to talk when it comes to this case. No one. But I thought maybe since it's a chaplain, he would open up to us, share something, let us know why he performed the wedding ceremony, what he knew about Jesse McFadden and Holly. Take a look. We went to his house. He actually lives about an hour from here in Tulsa, and went to the door. They were watering the lawn there. There was clearly someone home. Knocked on the door, trying to talk to chaplain Kenneth Farnham, but no one came to the door, Ashley. And I also did get a text from him that just said, no comment, period. And that was it.
Well,
So apparently
gosh.
we are
No
not going to be
comment.
hearing from the chaplain.
well, maybe not this way, but he better answer someone as to why he legally married a sex offender to a woman with 3 teenagers and didn't sort of red flag that and let it happen at the prison chapel. And then there's that witness, the sheriff's administrative assistant, who also is in charge of registering sex offenders. That's
Ding.
what she's
It
supposed to be
keeps
doing for a
getting
living.
better,
That's what her
everybody.
LinkedIn says.
Just wait.
So her son is a sheriff's deputy. He made the only on-site compliance check for Jesse McFadden. What did the sheriff's department say about all this?
Her son was a sheriff's deputy, and he was the only one that made a compliance check one time. The son to the lady that signed off on the marriage certificate is also the one that sets up the sex offender registry. Did you hear that? And she's the assistant to the sheriff.
I'm sorry, I want to go hit
she's-
somebody more and more.
She's the one that sets up the frickin' appointments for the people to come see the fucking prisoners. So, hello.
Are you
We've
making me
all-
want to go? Are you
Dude.
trying to make me want to go hit somebody, dude? Because
It gets
you're
worse.
succeeding.
It gets worse. You know that the kids went there and visited him because she brought the kids one time. That lady knew that there was frickin' children also.
That's
And
That's messed up.
Hey, son, the guy that puts nuts on the banana splits, can you go swing by and check out Jesse and make sure everything's cool? Sure, Mom. Dude, the fucking connections are ridiculous. The sheriff's assistant, and then everything's... Listen to it again. Listen to it.
What he knew about Jesse McFadden and Holly. Take a look. We went to his house. He actually lives about an hour from here in Tulsa. And went to the door. They were watering the lawn.
And that's the prison chaplain or how do you pronounce that? Chaplain?
Chaplain.
That's the prison chaplain's home that he went to because there was no contact for him to ask him a question. So he just went to his house. And then he replied because he left his business card. Then he gets a response that just says no comment. They know. They know. They all thought this shit was just going to be fucking, swept under, lift up the rug, sweep it under there, flip it down. I don't see nothing. No.
Oh, absolutely.
No, not this time. Maybe this is what used to happen all the fucking time there, but not anymore.
No, as soon as it gets national attention, you're screwed.
There's a lot of people. Dude, I've even had messages telling me to not talk about it and be safe.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, there's people that don't want this shit talked about, dude. There's people that can't talk because they're scared.
Yeah.
There's somebody that I'm talking to from that area.
That's nuts.
It's crazy. I can't say this shit on, that's why we're doing Saturday on Twitch.
Which I can't be in, so.
Because I'll figure out a way that you can.
I'm going to be at work.
I'll message you. I'm gonna let everybody know what the fuck on Saturday, but it's gonna be me because I have to respect the source. Take as you will, whatever you want. I trust this source. So, and I'm gonna be talking about some shit that goes on around there and how ridiculous it is. So Saturday night, if I could do member only streams, I wish I could. I'd definitely be doing it, but it's got to be on Twitch. So sorry if you need to download the app. I apologize. Yeah, I'm gonna go and do a lot of stuff. even my own theories, my own speculations, and my own idea of why all this shit took place from the beginning. And I still haven't changed. It has not changed my mind. It's all the same since the beginning. So we'll figure out a way. I'll message you after the show, dude. CJ, then yeah.
Say, or I'm off all day tomorrow if that's easier.
They are all dirty. What's easier, man? It was a coincidence, right, Ava? Mm-hmm. You're exactly right, Ava. That's what they want. They want this shit swept under the rug. I've had people, yeah. What's up, Angela? Thanks for hopping in. And of course, all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Thank you, Bautismo. It's always nice when Bautismo throws that out there, that any comments made on this show should be considered speculation. Thank you. Because we got to remind everybody. Look at those flowers. What's up, Punksy? Yeah, Phantom Bruin hopped in the other night. Twitch will be private, Pam. That is correct. Twitch is gonna. It's basically like YouTube's members only stuff, but it's on Twitch. So you have to be a sub, and it's Twitch only. I'm not gonna be streaming it on, Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or nothing. It's just going to be straight up to Twitch. It's just going to be straight up Twitch. And this is the whole, it's going to be the same layout as you're watching right now. It's just going to be on Twitch only, and you got to be a sub. So you actually have to sub to the channel. And sub for Twitch is like membership on YouTube, basically. So you got like the follow on Twitch is a sub on YouTube. The sub on Twitch is a membership on YouTube. So it's worded a little differently, but that's what the differences are. So when I mean sub on Twitch, you actually have, it's like a membership thing. Because I'm monetized on Twitch. Just not YouTube. And I think Oklahomans don't like... No, hell no, they don't. Shit, they're probably used to shit running a certain... Well, I know they are. They're used to running shit a certain way for, fucking generations. It's generations. Oh, shit, that sucks, Punksy. Yeah, the shit is generations. All right. We're going to play this part again. We're going to skip this part about the chaplain, but I want to go into, you guys got to just listen again to what he says all of these players are on who did what.
To be hearing from the chaplain.
Maybe not this way, but he better answer someone as to why he legally married a sex offender to a woman with 3 teenagers and didn't sort of red flag that and let it happen at the prison chapel. And then there's that witness, the sheriff's administrative assistant, who also is in charge of registering sex offenders. That's what she's supposed to be doing for a living. That's what her LinkedIn says. So her son is a sheriff's deputy. He made the only on-site compliance check for Jesse McFadden. What did the sheriff's department say about all this when you went to knocking?
Well, first of all, we've been trying to talk to the sheriff's department for quite some time. I have been, your team has been. Yesterday, we were trying to get to the bottom of what was going on.
Thank you, Angela.
With the sheriff's assistant who, is in charge of the sex offenders. And also, her signature is also on the marriage license. really just, I mean, is there something we're missing here? Just wanting to understand it. So I went to the sheriff's office today. We've called and called and called and called. This was sort of a last result. And this is what happened.
No,
Look at that. No, let me check. Your name is what? Like, why is there no press conferences? Why can't you even reach, like, I don't know. I thought all LE departments have a spokesperson, don't they? Somebody to talk to the media? Even if you can't answer questions, you still show up in front of the fucking camera and say, I'm sorry, we can't, it's an active investigation. That's something we cannot talk about right now. I mean,
I don't know that
say something.
I don't know that every department would have that, but I would think like a sheriff's department or state police would.
I'm just saying, like, there's Ruckus. I got a question. Is this crazy right here? Like, where he's calling over and over and over and over, and he can't get anybody. Check this out.
Something we're missing here. Just wanting to understand it. So I went to the sheriff's office.
Is this normal at a sheriff's office where they just can't get anybody to talk to?
Today, we've called and called and called and called. This was sort of a last result. And this is what happened.
no, your name is what?
I can give you a card if you want.
That'd be great.
Is it? Oh, it's open under here.
Yeah, it's open.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been.
See out there?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, she just said have it. Wow.
So we basically sat out in the waiting room and waited. A man came out and wasn't happy that the camera was there, said that they weren't going to be commenting. I had given them my business card.
Thank you, Ruckus.
And he essentially just gave the business card back to me.
Gave it back to him.
Wow. Didn't even accept your business card.
Yeah, no, didn't. I mean, I still got the card. Didn't take the card.
Who doesn't take Brian Enton's business card?
I probably
that's
wouldn't.
That's Brian Enton. Shit. That dude, he does a great job for News Nation. Does a great job. Can be retained on a case-by-case basis, and that's what they should do. Probably not too many. But wouldn't somebody be assigned that role though? Even if you only say you only got 12, right? Say you just got 12. Wouldn't still one person be assigned for that? No matter how many they are. Say you only have 5. Wouldn't one still be assigned to answer questions, even if you say, I'm sorry, we can't answer that. This is an active investigation. Sorry, I can't answer that question.
Well, that's probably all they can say.
Angela.
What wasn't there a gag order issued on this one?
I don't know if there was, actually.
If there's a gag order, they might not have one just because of the gag order. Because they can't answer anything anyway, so all you're going to do is make people angrier by saying, we can't answer that, we can't answer that, we can't answer that.
Yeah, that's if they have it, though. Does anybody know? I would be a horrible... Falls on sheriff or elected officials in small jurisdictions. Not yet. I didn't think there was, but I started to wonder because he mentioned it. I'm like, well, shit, is there?
Are we not talking about Idaho 4?
No, we're talking Oklahoma.
Okay, that's why.
Press has...
I don't know why I always
exactly, Ruckus.
It's funny. I can keep the cases straight, but I mix the names up, and that's the one thing I remember about Idaho is it has a gag order.
Yeah. Yeah, that one definitely has a gag order. And exactly, Ruckus, the press has to have access. They have to have somebody to, even if it's one person, I would think. Angela, you're funny as hell. I'd take Brian's. I definitely would. Brian he does a lot of great work, when it comes to investigating and asking questions.
CJ,
Oh, hold on.
Well,
a
that's
second.
something. Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm going to hop out, but I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Again, I don't always expect that law enforcement is going to, work with us when there's a horrible, disgusting, foul crime. But when they have been screwing up, I think they have some answers that we deserve as citizens, and that community deserves answers as to why. All that evidence was
Thank
left
you,
behind
ATF.
after the sheriff's department just cleared out. Nothing to see here. And by the way, if you want it, go ahead, take it home, was what one
Or
of the
throw it.
victims' family members was told. Just despicable. Okay, one last question. Raymond Paget, the landlord, all this new information that he wasn't legally allowed to rent that property, that he was so callous to these family members, get your things and get out of here, right? These are family members who lost their children to a rape and murder of a sex offender in a mass murder suicide. It just defies logic that anyone would treat anybody else like that. But you had actually asked that question of Ivy Webster's father and grandmother, Ivy Webster being one of the sleepover girls who was murdered. And they had something to say about that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. This is something that they have been questioning and concerned about since the very beginning. Something to them did not make sense with this landlord situation. How Jesse McFadden ended up here, he was able to rent the place. So when the paperwork emerged showing that the farm behind me, that the house behind me was in a receivership and that it was not allowed to be legally rented, they sort of could believe it because something didn't feel right, but at the same time they couldn't believe it. They have questions. How was he here? Why was he here? Who was he paying? If there was no lease, how did all of this happen? This is what they told me. Well, it just seems like it may have been like sort of a backdoor deal rental.
Well,
Yeah.
that's clearly what it is if he's not supposed to be renting out that property.
I wonder if there's even a lease or anything.
From my understanding is there wasn't.
They were
backdoor deal.
caretakers.
And they were caretakers of the property. And what I'm confused about is if he's not supposed to be renting out those properties, where is the connection that brought Jesse to that house? If he can't list it as a rental,
Ding, ding, ding.
how did Jesse get in contact with the property owner to
Right?
be able to know he could lease that house from
Right?
the property owner?
Thank you for watching.
Right? The 6 degrees I was talking about a few minutes ago. Who knew who that said, hey, I know somebody. Oh, yeah, you know somebody? Yeah, I know somebody. Yeah, I know somebody. And then what address did he put down? I see why nobody went out to the house. Landlord, he couldn't have a lease because it was illegal. So he's good there. So he could basically fly under the radar. What? I wonder, did he have his mom's address as his address? And that's how he was able to... I don't know. It's something... I'm sure there's going to be more stuff coming out tonight because they went through... They had a lot of documents getting released, and that's when they found out that they... You didn't hear this yet then, did you, Kevin? LE misspelled some of the victims' names. They mixed up some of the parents to the victims' names.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How incompetent can Ellie be in this?
Dude.
Holy cow.
Bro,
One second, my dog thinks he's in trouble. I'll be right back.
it's a cover up, man. I mean, I appreciate the dad, the dad's like, I'm not saying it's a cover up. That's what at right now, dad, that's what you got to say. But I'm not saying that shit. I'm saying it's a fucking cover up. I'm saying it's a cover up since day 3. Then I started noticing, like, because I'm sitting there the first couple days this crime took place, and I'm like, how in the fuck does this make sense? I'm running through all this shit in my fucking head while I'm fucking waking up, getting ready for work, going to work, coming home. Still, how does this make sense? How does this make sense?
Only way I can make sense of it is they realized they screwed up, and now they're trying to, and they were hoping to brush it under the rug so they didn't have to admit how bad they screwed this one up.
Well, I'm going to be going into it on Twitch, because on that 3rd day, when I was doing my prep for my show for that night, and I came across this shit on, just random, and I'm like, huh, what? And then a couple days later, huh? What?
How'd that noise go? Wow, you can do it twice.
Type in key 3 times. Type in keys, man. I can do it all day.
I'm impressed. Most people can't do funny noises multiple times.
Well, check this video out real quick, since you don't know about this, and I'm updating others that don't know as well. Yeah. Just wait.
Are we watching it, or are you sending me a link? Okay.
No, we're gonna watch it. This one right here. This has got a lot of information too.
We're hearing from the family of one of the victims in that tragic Oklahoma slumber party shooting that left 6 people dead. Earlier this month, police say 39-year-old Jesse McFadden shot and killed his wife, her teenage children, and their 2 friends who were at the house for a sleepover. McFadden then killed himself. News Nation's senior national correspondent Brian Anton joins us now. Brian, I just can't fathom how these families are getting through this.
Thank you, SRB.
Yeah, they're very, very emotional, Elizabeth, as you can imagine, especially when you think about what happened in this house behind me. The victims, their families, they drive by this house every day. It's really on the main drag right here, but they never could have imagined what was happening inside. They say, though, the authorities should have known because they discovered red flags. This is where Justin Webster can find a little peace. The garden he planted in memory of his daughter, Ivy, one of the 6 victims killed by convicted sex offender Jesse McFadden at the Oklahoma slumber party massacre 2 weeks ago. Do you feel like you've had a chance yet to
thanks, man.
grieve or accept it?
I feel like I haven't, because I've been fighting so hard, and I'll continue to fight. I don't have time to sit in the bed and curl up and cry like I really want to. But I gotta make sure that this doesn't happen to any other kid.
Oh my God.
Ivy's grandmother, Shannon Boykin, took this video inside what's been dubbed the sex offender den. Police initially cleared the house, but Shannon went inside the house and found shackles, drugs, electronics, and sex paraphernalia.
It was like walking into doom when you walked in that house. The smell was just, and it wasn't a cat box smell.
And now new questions surfacing about whether
with her saying that right there, it like makes you, whether you want to or not, it makes you like, when she says cat box smell, it just makes you I can't even
right.
It's, oh God, I can imagine. I know you can too, Kevin.
Officials at the Oklahoma Sheriff's Office, the office that was supposed to be tracking McFadden, had a strange connection to the sex offender. News Nation obtaining this marriage license from 1 year ago that shows the Sheriff's Office chaplain performed the ceremony for McFadden and his wife Holly, who had children at the time from previous relationships. And the witness who signed off is the sheriff's administrative assistant. No one answered at the chaplain's house, and he ignored my calls and texted me, no comment. We also went to the sheriff's office.
And like I said in my highlight video from earlier, they even work at your local ice cream parlor. Seriously, they're fucking everywhere.
Hi, how are you? My name is Brian Enton. I'm a reporter with News Nation. We're doing a story about the Jesse McFadden situation. No one would talk to me about the investigation or the marriage license. The victim's attorney told News Nation's Ashley Banfield, "This is just the tip."
What's up,
of the
Cleo?
iceberg.
Thank you. I
And here's
appreciate it.
the crazy thing, and let me add one thing that you haven't mentioned. Less than a month after the marriage, there
Thank
was
you,
only
ATM.
one time that a sheriff's deputy ever checked the house, and that was after the wedding. And there's no other checks at all before or after at the residence of this sex offender. And the check was done by the sheriff's the sheriff's secretary's son.
Do you think the failures initially with not searching was it an oversight? Or do you think there's something with
Peace,
what you're
Rex.
learning
Thank you,
about
bro.
the marriage certificate?
Appreciate
At
you.
this point, I think there's more to it. I don't want to call it a cover up, but yet we now know there's a lot more to the story.
You know what
that
I'm
they
saying,
didn't wanna
Ray?
Investigate, and that is the question: why?
So the families there obviously determined to get answers to figure out what was going on behind the scenes before this massacre. The state, they are now investigating. State law enforcement is in charge of the investigation. They are not commenting right now, though. Elizabeth?
Wow, those families have already uncovered quite a bit. Brian Enton, thanks so much. And for a lot more on this case, be sure to tune in to Banfield later tonight. Ashley has exclusive new reporting on the massacre, including new details on the landlord and the property where the tragedy unfolded.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to...
It's ridiculous, ain't it? Like, the sheriff's assistant, her son, and then the chaplain won't even answer any questions. He didn't even leave the mental door open. He already responded right back, and he said no comment. Don't ever come back. See what I'm saying, man? These people won't talk, bro.
When you come to my house, that's going to be my reaction.
These people won't talk. They're so scared. And like there's people that are there's people there that are comfortable, that they can have their conversations about the CP in the area, right? But when you ask them a question about something else, oh hell no. No. Nah. I don't mind talking about this, but I sure as hell ain't talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so the fact that, dude, you're a prison chaplain. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not have a response? That's the one that baffles me.
Well, just to play devil's advocate, how do we know that he wasn't told everything was cool for him to marry them because somebody else didn't do their job, and now he feels like everyone's blaming him for doing what he thought was okay, even though he did his job right, but someone gave him bad information.
So then why not say it? Because I'm sorry, when you say no comment, you look guilty as a motherfucker.
Oh, I don't disagree with you there. But, but there again, people don't want to talk about it. So maybe he's assuming that you're asking him because you've already assumed he's guilty.
Nah, he ain't afraid of that. Because if it wasn't for something else, he would probably be wanting to have an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I want to sit down and I want to say what you just said, Kevin. I would like, if I'm chaplain, I would like to sit down with you, spend 5 minutes, Mr. Reporter, Lady Reporter, whatever. And then whatever you said, dude, that's perfect, man.
Yeah.
And that would be him saying it. I would totally think that that's what the dude would be doing. Not
if he's truly in fear, and I'm sorry, but even if I was in a situation like that, which say hypothetically I was in his shoes and that was the case, if you come to my home, I'm not going to talk to you. But I'm also the type that I'm not talking to you on my property. hit me up here and we'll talk when you're not here. And if you show up in my home again, I will call law enforcement. But that's because I don't like company that's uninvited.
Yeah, I mean, and I see that in chat too, and I definitely feel you. Like if I'm not in the mood, I'm just not going to answer the damn door. You know, I feel you. So there's one more video we're going to check out here, unless there's something breaking that comes out. I'm going to check in the meantime while we're watching this one. This is the other video that I wanted to update everybody with. This has got even more information. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Each day the shit that comes out, you know?
Yeah.
This is Mark Garagos on Banfield here.
Bring in Mark Garagos now. He's a trial attorney and the co-host of the Reasonable Doubt podcast with Adam Carolla. Case is rotten in Denmark here on so many levels. First of all, the cops are handing, Brian's card back to him, right? The sheriff's department, they miserably messed up from the get-go, right? Plus, They end up on the wedding, roster as the chaplain and the witness, and then the witness's son is the first of, on-site visit. He's a member of the sheriff's department, and then there's this landlord who has a criminal background as well, renting to a sex offender, teenage kids. I don't know what recourse anybody has here, but I want to know why the feds aren't involved, or if they are, would it be quiet?
No, it wouldn't be quiet, at least initially, but I'll tell you.
100, Ray.
Anybody who ever wants to slam lawyers, let me tell you something. What will happen here? I'll make a bold prediction.
I have an opinion on that, too.
There will be a plaintiff lawyer that gets involved.
What's up?
Generally, the FBI, in a case like this, the FBI would only get involved as if anyone was taking over state lines. Otherwise, it would be down to the city or state.
Well, they got the OSBI, which I believe is a branch of the FBI, right?
I thought OSBI was the Oklahoma State Investigator.
Bureau Investigation.
It's something like that. So yeah, it would stay with the state because no one crossed state lines. But if they find one single victim, which I'm sure if they dig deep enough, they will, as soon as there's someone who was brought from another state to there, then if the FBI wants it, they can actually get involved. And then you're going to get the federal level investigation, which is going to bring all kinds of extra heartache to this area, which I'm sure nobody wants because it sounds like a lot of people are trying to cover something up.
Oh, yeah.
So, and honestly, them bringing the state in is probably the best thing because the state ain't going to care. They just want the truth. And because if they can find that they don't need to continue the investigation, can pass it off to the feds, then, yeah. The FBI don't care. They just want to get as many charges as they can. So,
And they're pretty damn good at it, too.
Oh, absolutely. As somebody that's met federal agents in the past, those guys are cool. Unless you cross them.
98%, right?
Yeah. Well, I believe that there's it's the 2% rule of anyone in humanity. That 2% will always be true scumbags. Those are the dirty cops, the dirty feds, the people that would actually try to brush us under the table. But I mean, you're going to get that anywhere. Teachers, law enforcement, pet store employees, Walmart employees. So nothing will ever be 100% that, there's no corruption. But I think if they could find a justification to get it to the FBI, that we would get the very best chance of all their victims getting a true, what's the word I'm looking for? True justice in what actually happened, and that way then other victims that have been taken advantage of, or even other missing persons from other states potentially, if they are there, then that can close a lot of cases and might not necessarily give peace to other family members, but at least it'll give them closure and they know what happened. And anyone else that's involved around this, I really hope they throw the book at anyone else that was involved in this, because I think that's the real reason the dude did his self-unaliving thing, because he knew if anybody found out that he was going to be worse off, so he wanted the quick, easy way out.
Well, that's one theory. This is what I was saying in one of my highlights last night. You got to think about it like this too, right? So the headline of, and I'm not saying this isn't what happened, but just check this. The headline of so-and-so unalives this many people than himself, right? That's coming, and I'm not saying it's not true, but consider the source. That's coming from the same people that told everybody that all that other shit isn't evidence.
Yeah.
That headline is coming from those people.
Right.
Can you really trust that headline?
No.
So who's to say they all weren't a target? Consider the source of the headline.
Yeah. No, I get it. But that's what I mean by
you want it swept?
Yeah. No, I got you. I mean, and we're also assuming that this doesn't go deeper, and that the people that actually were behind everything that happened are already gone. I don't know this. Yeah, this one's really.
It's got to. Nothing else makes any sense, dude. The house of cards, my friend.
I agree.
You pull one out, and then when you think about the hit theory, he was getting ready to go to prison. Tweet, 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 tweet.
Yep. And that's what I'm
saying.
And that's what I mean. Maybe he was a lower person or a lower tier member of a group that was actually the ones really doing this, and they, whether they did something to him or he knew that something was going to happen worse than what, say, maybe the punishment of the law might give him. That might be another reason. And the fact that people are still afraid to talk about it makes me wonder if they actually have the actual person that was in charge of the whole ring. And it makes me think that it wasn't a ring of people rather than just one person or a guy and his wife that.
Sorry, this is an Amber Alert here I'm putting up for a second.
It's all good.
And it's okay, Truthful Soul. It's the only way that I can talk with everybody about stuff beyond what I can talk about on regular YouTube. That's all.
So. And worrying about having to curtail what you want to say.
Can somebody gift her a sub? Can somebody gift Truthful Soul a sub? If anybody has any Amazon Prime sub gifts that they can give Truthful. What's your handle on Twitch, Truthful Soul? Put it up there, so if somebody wants to gift you a sub, they can make sure they gift it to the right username.
I would, but I'm promised mine to JSD if I get her info.
Oh, you're good, man. I mean, Amazon Prime does a lot of gift subbing and things like that too. So.
Right. Well, I've got Prime, but I've only got one sub I can gift. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Punk Off 69, Punksy. We'll be on there Saturday night. I'm still thinking it's 7. I'm still thinking it's 7 o'clock Central, and I'm gonna be having open panel and everything. It'll be just like YouTube talk show. It's gonna be on Twitch. I'll have open panels, so people will still be able to hop up on panel. We'll be doing one on the Saturday the week after, because then Kevin will be up on panel for that Twitch only show.
Is her name really Punk Off? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So we'll be doing some more research in between each one. So we're gonna be coming back with some more shit the Saturday after that. But it's if I was able to have members only shows, truthful, then I'd just be doing. I wouldn't even be messing with Twitch.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's just the only way. It's the only way that I can do it, because YouTube doesn't offer memberships to me right now. So, how can you buy a gift?
If you have Amazon Prime, it should already be available.
There we go.
'Cause-
Truthful Soul 88 is her username on my Twitch, and she already follows me. So she will be in my roster of followers. So I believe you can just type in the search for the gift in SRB. Cassie, how did that work when you guys were doing that the other night? Because there was like 4 or 5 gifted subs that night, the first night. But it'll be coming up in Saturday night, probably 7 o'clock Central, maybe 6 o'clock Central. I'm gonna put out a community post Saturday morning or Saturday early afternoon, probably Saturday morning. I'll put out a post letting everybody know the exact time to show up for the Twitch, because it's not like YouTube. It's not gonna like notify you of it's not like here where you can go to the screen and hit notify and then it just tells you, and if you don't get it, then you don't realize. So I'll put out the time that I'm doing it, and then I'll put the link to Amazon Prime to see if anybody does have it. They can use that for the free sub. And yeah, we'll be doing it like that. Same setup. So we'll be getting into that. It's going to be interesting. It's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I just wish if there was more evidence that I could talk about it more on YouTube, but it's not responsible to discuss these outfield thoughts and opinions.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's
all.
why I try to always make it clear when I'm guessing or theorizing that I don't know, but this is what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because I like to be clear.
And I love all your and I love all your guys' thoughts and opinions, and I think we have great conversations, and that's why I'm like, man, I got to talk about this shit with whoever wants to join, because I got to talk about this. I got to see what some of you guys think. I want you to tell me what you think on that show too, and like you figure it out. Oh yeah, have fun. Supper sounds good. It's all on you. Yep, all you have to do is search Evil CJ on any of the stuff.
It's like you try to make it easy to find you.
Hey man, that was the point, man. That's why I have, and that's why I have one word name. Because on some of the platforms you have to use an underscore if you want a space. So I got rid of that one too. So I don't have to have, nope, it's just one word. Boom.
Yeah.
Simple. All you have to do is search. So yeah. Interesting. So I'm going to rewind just a teeny bit, and then we're going to hear what he has to say about the new details coming out as well.
Anybody who ever wants to slam lawyers, let me tell you something. What will happen here? I'll make a bold prediction. There will be a plaintiff lawyer that gets involved in this case and uncovers exactly what's going on, because your reporting, by the way, has put out so many data points that you could explore or go after, that it would be a field day. I mean, the idea that this guy has this property to begin with, the idea that he's calling his mother, the mother is not doing anything or alerting authorities, The fact that there are inexplicably, as you just mentioned, all of these phones, which the first thing you would do is try to preserve or get the records connected with those cell phones. And I'll bet you're going to find some other interesting information there. So some very intrepid civil plaintiff's lawyer is going to unravel this thing, because it's clear that law enforcement's not going to do it.
Yeah.
We also know it's so hard to
That's obvious.
sue the government, right? But you have a prison system that let a sex offender out early after 85% of his sentence on what they called the credit system. He built up credits. Why don't those credits go away if you're, accused of committing crimes behind bars, which he was? And why did it take 6 years to adjudicate those crimes? It seems to me all of this would never have happened if somebody had their eye on that ball.
Well, you bring up a very good point. I've got a case in California right now where my client was killed while in custody, and it appears that it was not kosher, if you will, that it was not the cellmate that there may have been involvement by the authorities. What ends up happening is once you put people in prison, there's a very, very nefarious kind of network that takes place in prison. We've seen it. You covered a story.
What's up, Silky?
I did a story with you within the last year about some of these prison escapades that go on, and the idea that things get smuggled into.
Wait, what? He said, what about prison escapades? What's up, Silky? Be safe. Thanks for hopping in and hanging out while you're driving home. Let us know when you make it safely, please.
Escapades that go on. And
escapades,
the idea that very, very nefarious kind of network that takes place in prison. We've seen it. You covered a story. I did a story with you.
There's the connection to the landlord. Somebody inside. There's the connection to the landlord. Somebody inside knew.
Within the last year about some of these prison escapades that go on. And the idea that things get smuggled into prison, the idea that people have kind of alternative lifestyles while in prison, which is clearly what happened here. All of that is gonna come to the fore. You're gonna see that unwound or kind of revealed in the coming weeks. Some kudos thanks to your investigation and Brian's investigation.
Well, let's hope. I mean, these families deserve justice. And if, they hadn't been getting the investigation done themselves and then screaming from the mountaintop, I don't know that anybody would have cared. So, Mark Aragos, thank you for your wisdom. Always appreciate it and love having you on.
Thank you for watching. Go to...
I appreciate Banfield always doing that at the end of her videos instead of some of the other ones where it's like you're dropping off a cliff and shit. It's like, oh shit, it's over. Yeah, truthful soul, you'll have to hop over to Twitch, and then that's how you can get the gifted sub. You have to be in the chat of the Twitch on my channel, and then SRB can gift you that sub. Cool. Thank you, SRB. I appreciate you doing that. And thanks for hopping over there to do that, truthful soul. Say hi when you hop over there. I'll throw your message up there on Twitch. Appreciate it. So I'm going to share this as well, because I'm always going to share this. We got 3,625, and that's 19 more than when I last promoted it last night. There we go, on Twitch. So, it amazes me because there's 8,000 people that live in Henryetta. And there's only 3,625 that have signed this. I don't understand why this isn't even... Why is it not at 5,000 already? to oppose Oklahoma sex offender sentencing and probation requirements. I don't understand. You don't have to donate. All you have to do is sign it, and then I think you have to share it. If you don't have anything to donate, a signature. You click a button, you sign the signature, and you share it to a platform. Thank you, SRB. Appreciate that. So cool. So I'm just asking everybody to sign this if they haven't. Oh, you kicked yourself out. 1 second here. Anybody else wants to hop up too, you're more than welcome. All right, we're going to switch subjects now, unless anybody has anything else they'd like to say on this topic. I'm going to double check the breaking just to make sure. One more time. See if there's anything else before we move on, but we'll be talking about Idaho 4 next for the rest of the evening. We pretty much covered everything that I believe has came out so far. I know there's some other documents that I have, but that would be... I'm going to end up saving those for the next episode because it'll probably take about a good 2 hours to go through documents, so that'll probably be a weekend show. And I won't be on tomorrow afternoon because I have to wait for the technician. You know, they give you that 2-hour window, you know. Sometimes they used to give you 4.
Yeah.
Now they give you 2.
So I'm probably going to be doing a live first thing in the morning too once I get up and get moving.
Cool, man.
So,
what are you working on?
Let me see what the poll says because I'm going with that because I'm too lazy to think. So far, it's tied. So far, I'm tied for bottle stoppers, just playing on the lathe, which goes together, or shop infrastructure, which would be tables and stuff for being out in the workshop. So I might actually, if I can find the plans tonight, I might cut the 2x4s I need and move my table saw out and then go live to rip down everything and make a mobile workbench or something.
I know, I got to think of a new setup up here. I'm going to try and get a new setup maybe this weekend. So I might have a slightly different background than what you're used to seeing, but we'll see.
I know somebody that can make you a custom desk if you need it.
I got my custom desk. I made it myself. But I kind of need a bigger one now, honestly. Because I'm kind of, with all the stuff that I have going on now, because before the shows always used to be open topics every freaking night, you know. So I really didn't need to keep notes and, you know, because really it was just up to the minute, you know, we'd talk about space and true crime and all sorts of shit. But, you know, just starting to get in the Stephen Smith case is what really started getting me into these focused evenings. For shows and stuff. And so now that we're getting into those, I have so many notes and so many different things on my desk now that it's like I need more space. But
yeah.
I just got to reorganize it a different way somehow or something. But yeah, I'm thinking about rearranging and having a new layout behind me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting ready to, or need to do it. I've been needing to do and just figure out how I want to start selling stuff. I'm trying to get away from having to work shows and being reliant on other people to get me into places like I have been.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for a different day.
And you're a good, truthful soul. That's you don't. Yeah, when you're on Twitch, you actually have to hit the resub every time, and really, I'm just doing it for this case right here. And in a month, if it's something that we need to keep doing, or you guys enjoy it, we'll definitely try and do something like that. I just don't plan on being on there very long, so I would, just a month, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and switch to Idaho. For y'all good, Kib Kitty? Is there anything you want to say about Henryetta before we switch?
No. I'm just getting this Twitch done.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Oh, you're good. Yeah,
I
I'll
keep
put out a
kicking
community
myself
post.
out of the panel.
You're good. Yeah, I'll be doing a community post Saturday morning, early morning, late morning, something like that. But it's going to be around 6 or 7 o'clock Central. I know that for a fact. But yeah, I'll definitely put it out there. And then I might even, honestly, I might even put the information with the Twitch stream, and then I'll make it a vote, and I'll put different time slots in it, and then whatever the vote is, then that'll be the time. We'll do it like that. What time do you have to go to work, Kevin? When do you go to work?
Well, I start at 7. I leave by 6:30, and I'm usually starting getting ready about 5 to 5:30 because it takes me a bit to wake up and get attacked by my dog, who's currently trying to push me off the edge of my bed because I'm looking for something and he wants love. So if you hear a loud crash and me swearing, you know what happened.
Yeah, what the hell? That's what they're there for.
Oh, I know. I love him to death, which is why he's getting a hug. It's also what's keeping me on my bed right now.
Well, information with Idaho 4. They had a secret grand jury, which basically kept the defense out of the picture until they get the transcript of the hearing. Yeah, they're not using the sheath. Makes you wonder what the evidence is. I'm thinking maybe it's the car, or possibly even the weapon, if it's overwhelming, but I don't know. In that interview we heard overwhelming, and we heard many mountains, so I don't know which it is. It was like riding a roller coaster listening to that broadcast for that news.
Yeah, that guy was funny.
Yeah,
I was
up and
like,
down.
dude, I'm so confused right now.
they were both doing it, closed case, like all these. It's like up and down. It's like, dang. So I've been enjoying this harsh reality channel that we've been checking out here the last few shows, and I'm going to start the Idaho 4 off with this one right here after we get to the interview with Kaylee Goncalves' dad. He was on News Nation last night. I was working on some edits last night. Thank you again, Kib Kitty and SRB, for joining me on that one. I was working on some, and this came across, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't know he was even supposed to be on because of the gag order, right? But I don't know I didn't even get to watch it, so you're going to be watching it with me if you haven't seen it yet. I don't know, maybe I think the gag order now is just on witnesses and anybody that's in the trial. Are these parents, does anybody know, are these parents able to speak out now again?
I would hope they're allowed to.
I mean, this dude was saying some shit before, which I don't blame him. He wanted to find the person that unalived his daughter, and her best friend, which was also like his daughter. But at this, we'll see.
Not to pry and ask which of the girls you were talking to, but did she give details about some of what she's been processing in these 6 months?
Well, between all the different families, I think both girls are talking. They're talking to somebody. One might be talking to me, one might be talking to someone else. So I think we have a good understanding of some of the details that haven't been made public, but we're just holding it close to the chest, and we're making sure that everything goes through the court processes and everybody gets a fair shot and everything is done in the right order to mothers and fathers that really don't have any idea how this should work. We never seen ourselves in this spot, and we're just living one day by day.
There's no playbook, for this, and it's, I often say, unwelcome exclusive club you're a member of, Steve. You are, I don't know where you get the strength and the fortitude, but you were there when Kohberger made that first appearance in January. Are you planning to be there on Monday?
Yeah, I'm going to stick to the message that this family will do everything in its power to make sure that if everything rolls out and we know for a fact with the evidence that this is the person, then he's got pit bulls after him. So we're going to be there at every moment, analyzing every piece of data, going through everything to make sure that it is the right person, and we hold them accountable. And that kind of pressure has to come from more than just one parent. It has to come from all of us, and that's what we're working on. I know on Monday I won't be the only parent down there. There'll be other families there, and I think it's a moment of solidarity that we're getting more and more people active, and you got to give people time to figure out how they want to respond and how they're gonna just wake up and deal with an everyday situation. Their power and their strength, and I think that courtroom's going to get.
Do you mind me asking if you know what other parents are planning to be there Monday?
I don't want to put them on the hook in case they wake up that morning and they don't feel like going. But I know of 2 other families that are planning on being there. We're organizing even the path that we get down there together. So anything can happen, and everyone has the ability to decide to change their mind. But I'll be there. I won't be changing my mind, and we'll have at least 9 seats of us there. And I hope that some of the other families feel that the more uncomfortable we can room, and the more that we can represent each person that was robbed of their lives, the best we can do. I mean, it's not going to fix the situation, but there should be some accountability when you take people that are special.
We've been showing some of the pictures of the scene of the crime, which will be featured heavily in the trial. I know the university was going to keep you updated as to the plans to demolish 1122 King Road. They said it would happen during the semester. Now the semester is over. Have they kept their word at the university and kept you informed about the plan for the demolition? And as well as that, have all the parents been able to pick up their kids' belongings for the final time?
We have not been able to pick those things up, which we would understand that might be very close to the moment that it's down, that it's going to be torn down, like maybe equipment's moving in. So we pushed back a little bit just because different parents have seen different court cases and have tried to get themselves self-educated on what we're going to go through. And they found cases where important evidence had been discovered, and they went back to the crime scene and actually it clarified things for jury members. I don't know the exact story, but I just know that that's a reality that has been spoken to me. So we pushed back and said, hey, let's wait on this until at least everybody's on the same page, including the defendant. I want the defendant to be able to say, there's nothing in that house that's important to us. I want the truth. We want the right person. So we have every motion to sit back and say, hey, we can slow this down. We don't have to rush anything. I understand it's a little difficult for the community, but we all have to come together and we have to do what's right for these young adults that were put in this situation, and we're the only voices that they have. So we've asked to slow that down, and they've respected that.
Steve Gonsalves, it's good to see you again and talk to you again. I can't thank you enough for volunteering to be on this program with us. And I know that a lot of the people who are watching right now, if you can feel it, they're sending their love to you just like we are as well. And to Christy and the kids as well. Our best to you.
Yeah, he didn't really say too much that would hurt the investigation or anything like that. That's pretty cool. It had been a long time since any of them had done any kind of interviews, and the last interviews they did, they were just wanting answers. All right, so this is a video. Let me see, where'd it go? So Kohberger's expected to plead not guilty on Monday. And they said you can indict a ham sandwich on that highlight video I made. It's crazy.
That's not a very good analogy.
I know.
Well, the next time he speaks, it's going to be guilty or not guilty. It will be quick, really. I want to bring in News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton with more on exactly what's going to happen in this process during the arraignment. He's with me live. Okay, take it away. Walk me through Monday, Brian.
So this indictment, as you mentioned, became unsealed today. The grand jury actually signed off on the indictment yesterday, Ashley. So this all became official yesterday. No surprises when it comes to the charges. It's the same charges that the police and the prosecutor initially charged Brian Kohberger with, the 4 counts of murder and the 1 count of burglary. The case is now being moved from county to district court now that there's officially an indictment. And I want to read you this part of the indictment. It says that the defendant, Brian C. Kohberger, on or about November 13th, 2022 in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence at 1122 King Road with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. So you mentioned it's going to be a short hearing on Monday. They'll go over the charges. He will officially enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. I'm going to be there. What I am most interested in is we have not seen him since the arrest, since that initial court appearance. All of the hearings have been on. Some of the hearings have been in secret.
I wonder what he looks like now.
We'll be able to see him again. We'll be able to have a camera there, so we'll be able to show you.
Yep.
We'll be able to see his new attorney also, in addition to Ann Taylor. So surely we'll learn a lot come Monday, Ashley.
Right. And I can't wait to see the new judge. And I love his name. It's John Judge.
Yeah.
Because he's moved
Judge.
to district court. I don't know if John is the county judge who just, kept everything under wraps. But, what's really interesting is that we're going to hear like a trial scheduling, right? He has a right to a speedy trial, which is 6 months after the arraignment, the guilty plea is entered or the not guilty plea is entered. And so like, what's the timing? Like, what are we expecting, when we hear them schedule?
It's a good question. It's interesting you bring up the judge, because when we talk about the gag order or not having a lot of information, there's now a new judge. So it's now going to be up to this judge to decide how to handle this gag order. Gag order is still in effect though. So we still don't have a lot of information. You mentioned it at the top of your show. One of the reasons that those of us who are invested in the case were interested in this preliminary hearing is because there was going to be information. We're going to be able to be there, and it was going to be open to the public's gaze and there was going to be new nuggets. None of that is going to happen now, and the gag order stands right now. So yes, there's this back and forth happening. Get little bits of Fence is asking the prosecution for discovery, and there's been a lot of filings with that. But in terms of the time frame, we really don't know at this point.
So the interesting thing is that this plea, hearing, the arraignment is scheduled for 9:00 in the morning, local time in Idaho. Additional, my assumption is it is for these additional gag. Media has done a challenge. It continues to challenge this. This is, we have open justice in America. We don't do gulag, blindfold justice. And so there's been a lot of media challenge. And then there's also the challenge from the Gonzalez family as well, who are very frustrated, with their inability to find out information about their beautiful daughter's death.
Yeah, and it's interesting because those two issues have in some ways been lumped together into one issue that the judge is going to be dealing with. And they're very, very different. Because obviously you've got the media, we want the info. We don't want to just be shut down by everything. But Kaylee Gonzalez's family has a very different reason for wanting to be able to speak out. Their attorney says he has a right to be able to be the family spokesman. They can't just totally shut him down. So he's fighting that. And then the media is also fighting that at least we get some kind of information, because the gag order is just so strict.
It has been really difficult because people complain about misinformation, but when you can't check with a simple clerk of the court just about status, it makes covering, a process of public justice very, very difficult. And I feel it's unfair. I understand their reasons, but sometimes it goes too far, and that's.
Yeah, sometimes it does. And there are going to be cameras in the courtroom. This is an article. Oh, hold on 1 second. I gotta wait for it to load here. And I'll put the article link in chat. So the statement says the representatives of the media serving as the pooled camera staff shall be seated in an area approved by the court. The judge also set limits for a maximum of 2 media members operating audio-video and 1 media member handling still photography. And Kohberger will face the judge. Due to the indictment, the preliminary hearing has been canceled, and Kohberger will face a judge this coming Monday, May 22nd. And they are allowing cameras in the courtroom for Kohberger's arraignment on Monday. But the thing is when it comes to the press are designated to a certain area of the courthouse where you can't see the people come in and out of the courthouse. They're on the other side. So they are not going to be in view of who comes in and out of the courthouse because they're going to be designated into a certain area on the opposite side of the building.
Sounds like they want to make sure the jury can't be caught on video. Or there not be a jury there.
That or the witnesses.
True.
Yes, they can record it, then stream after the arraignment. That's, yep, I did. I think you did mention that to me, didn't you, SRB, a little bit ago, that it's going to be on a delay. Like they used to do the old NBA games, before Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came. They were always on tape delay. That was when they were known for being on powder and fighting all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like they want to do that for the trial for the same reason. If anything crazy goes down, they can kill it before it goes out. And then kill the feed.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Bang. That's so funny.
Oh, 1 second. I gotta switch something here. Yeah, they're going to be designated to an area on the opposite side of where people come in and out. That's what JLR. I think he had a diagram or something, didn't he, SRB? Because I had heard about it, but I didn't see it. But I think he had like a diagram, right? Or something like that. I don't know. Was it on it? I don't know. What was he using? I heard like a diagram, but then I heard it was like off a computer or something. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, completely opposite side. But I get it. They don't, I mean, I understand for the witnesses and the jury and everything. For sure. But I don't know. It seems like they are closing off the press more and more and more and more and more. You know? Gag order, gag order, gag order, gag order all the time. So this is a video from Harsh Reality. He's always got some good opinions, I think. Sometimes it's off the wall. Sometimes it's I don't agree, but I always appreciate. So that's Harsh Reality. We're going to share one of his videos here real quick. He actually had a live today, so he went over everything. All right. Yeah, I'll throw his link up there in a second. I'm not going to show the video, but... Or do you think maybe I will. I don't know if I have it saved. We'll check it out after this, maybe. All right, this is Harsh Reality, Idaho 4. What are you willing to ignore? A lot of great opinions on this channel. I like it. Good following, too. Yeah.
So, how is everyone? I hope you are all well, you beautiful, beautiful people. And look, this video is going to be yet again a bit of a room splitter because it's going to ask you a question.
But
a question that I feel that you need to truly consider and make a decision. And this is surrounding the Idaho 4 case. And it's about you as an individual, you as a person, and what you are willing to ignore. Now, with respect of the Brian Kohberger situation and the grand jury, I did a video earlier today. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check that out. Not now, after this one. But look, this video is going to ask you to consider whether you want to know the whole truth, or whether you're just one of these people who are willing just to say, look, he did it. I don't care about the whys. I don't care about the hows. I don't care about the details of it. He did it. That's it. Or are you a person who thinks to yourself, look, even if Brian, this is based on a principle that Brian Kohberger's involved, Brian Kohberger did it, whatever. As a side note, I will just point this out because I'm kind of tired of hearing it. And it's when people are referring to the evidence and they refer to the 10,000 odd photographs. They look at the 51 terabytes of.
Yeah, we'll go into a little bit of that. I'm glad to thank you for letting us know that you made it home safely, Silky. I appreciate that. And Silky, I couldn't type in chat when you were doing your live, but anytime that you want me on, just let me know, okay? And we can even have a show about whatever you want. Help, you know. I don't know how to use OBS. I just know StreamYard. But Yeah, I'll join you anytime. Hang out, talk about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, we'll talk about whatever. I appreciate you. You have such a great personality on your videos. You really do. Please sub to Silky if you haven't. Sub to Silky Southern Tea. Great personality. And your editing is superb as well, Silky. I watched your video from earlier. I still got to leave a comment on that. Just the production alone too. The information, the information, the personality, the comedy, because she likes to throw a little sarcasm in there too. I'm telling you, it's great content over there at her channel. For real. Anytime. You just let me know. Just reach out to me on email. We'll figure it out. Thank you, SRB. Yeah, for real. Silky Southern Tea. One of the best.
Evidence. And look, there is not, I will repeat, there is not 51 terabytes of data that is proving that he is guilty or is evidentiary to his guilt. The 51 terabytes of data is every single thing that they collected in the investigation. So that is all the audio recordings from all of the cameras in all of the areas. It is all of the pictures that were taken of the crime scene, all around the crime scene, behind it, up it, above it, below it, round it, everything. Every single photograph, and if there was any copies, duplicates thereof. 51 terabytes of data does not mean that they have 51 terabytes of data that is all about him being guilty. Okay, so when people are saying, whoa, he's fucked, they've got 51 terabytes of stuff, imagine that. It doesn't work that way. The whole data drop was 51 terabytes of everything that was, every single thing that was collected. Could be a picture of a cup that was on the side, could be a picture of a glove that was outside, could be a picture of the door frame, the window, a view from the road. You know, it could be hours upon hours of video footage that shows nothing, and then a 20-second clip of a white Hyundai Elantra on this 320p imagery. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so it's about what you want to know in the Idaho 4 case as to what you consider right. What do you consider right? Do you consider when someone is being put to death, when they're going to trial and they could likely face the firing squad or whatever it is, lethal injection, whether you are willing to accept that you are being told that something happened behind closed doors, and during this process, they found out that this person was guilty. These 12 people, these 12 jurors, 16 jurors, 22, whatever. I know it can go up on a grand jury to 22, but ultimately, these jurors that were selected for the trial, they looked at the evidence behind closed doors and decided, yes, this is the person that did the crime. But you will never know why, you will never know how, you'll never know any of the intricacies of it, the nuances in it. Are you happy with that? Are you happy to just then allow things just to move on, and you think that trials should be that way? I think personally, I think there should be a one shoe fits all, and that is that when someone does a crime, that crime is tried publicly. So every single person sees what is going on. Case in point, Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony, I believe that every single person who's probably watching this video believed that she was guilty. Everyone had looked at all the information and in their droves was shocked at the final outcome of that trial. How many of you feel that that case was an injustice? That was the wrong outcome? Now, if I haven't convinced you in just asking that question, let's look at the Alex Murdoch case. Now, Alex Murdoch, but I bet my bollocks to a barn dance there's people out there who says, okay, he may have been involved in it, and I can see...
What did he just say? He'll bet what? I'm sorry, I have to rewind that real quick. What did he say?
Single person who's probably watching this video believed that she was guilty. Everyone had looked at all the information and in their droves was shocked at the final outcome of that trial. How many of you feel that that case was an injustice? That was the wrong outcome? Now, if I haven't convinced you in just asking that question, let's look at the Alex Murdoch case. Now, Alex Murdoch, he got found guilty, but I bet my bollocks to a barn dance says...
I bet my bollocks to a band down. I bet my bottom dollar? Is that what that means? I'm just not familiar with the slang. I bet my bollocks to a band down. What's a bollock?
People out there who says, okay, he may have been involved in it, and I can see that he was a bad dude. But did he do the crime itself? Was he the person who pulled the trigger? And I think that's very, very similar to the Brian Kohberger situation. Now, let's not forget what we know. We know that there was an ex-military guy in the background who had issues. He was in Washington, where Brian was, so we can't say why would he travel from Washington to to Moscow, Idaho, and do this. Brian would have had to have done the same if you believe Brian did it.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
You also know that he held his roommates hostage.
Right.
He had a gun. Military background, so chances are he had access to military.
I think he's like one of the only other people. Now, we've had conversations about Brentley Kopaka from the beginning, and we've kind of felt the same way, that there was some eerie kind of feeling in your stomach that there's some small or some kind of connection in some way. I mean, hell, we were googling the trip from Kohberger to Kopaka, and that's where we were talking about where Kohberger's vehicle was caught on surveillance around 2-something in the morning before the crime took place. Then it was caught on surveillance a couple hours after that, after the crime took place. That's why we went ahead and looked it up. So he's actually one of the only couple content creators out there actually discussing Kopaka still. I appreciate that.
You also know that he held his roommates hostage. He had a gun. Military background, so the chances are he had access to military weaponry, and he was very, very quickly taken out by SWAT. The narrative around his death was hidden online, and it was pushed as if, look, this war hero lost his battle against complex PTSD and lost his life. That's the narrative that was pushed, and there's nothing really else that you can find. Nothing at all. But we know that's in the background. We also have heard rumors about, and what I will say before I continue in this direction, whatever has happened, I'm not trying to say that it makes it right what happened to the victims, because it doesn't. That doesn't make what happened to them right. Whatever. And with that, I'm going to say, look, the situation that we heard spoken about, the Hannah Clary situation, and the fact that there was a potential that she had taken her own life through bullying, and that bullying could have happened at the hands of some of the victims in the Idaho 4 case. And again, I'm not saying that then balances the scale. An eye for an eye does nothing but make the whole world blind, as they say. But what it does is it leaves a gap. It leaves questions as to whether there were things that happened or situations that could explain and put things in a different perspective. And do you feel that we as the public should have access to that information? Do you feel that it's relevant? Do you feel that no, because all you're going to do then is if you turn around and say that Brian Kohberger did this because he was paid. He was paid by someone's relative who had bullied and lost their life.
Oh,
and
wow.
So you'd feel that has no relevance because all that then does is looks at the reputation.
I haven't heard that before. The theory that he was paid from the family of the bullied female that unalived herself. I haven't heard that one before.
Did this because he was paid. He was paid by someone's relative who had bullied and lost their life, and so on. So you'd feel that has no relevance because all that then does is looks at the reputation of the victims, and you're pulling them through the mud, and they don't deserve it because they lost their lives. And look, I know some of this might be reachable. What I'm trying to, the overarching question is whether you feel that the details surrounding the why and the how are important. There are so many people who still question how this was done by this one person in the manner of which it does, the speed with which it was. If he didn't do it before, this was the first time he'd ever done it. He just managed to do it with such speed, such accuracy. Yes, he left a knife sheath, but even the knife sheath, we don't know whether he left that knife sheath. We don't know whether that knife sheath was planted, whether it even belonged to the murder weapon. We know that there's questions surrounding exculpatory evidence that potentially was held by Bethany Funk. Now, was that exculpatory evidence the fact that Brian Kohberger, all of these times he was visiting this place, was because he was buying narcotics? Was that night that he turned up at that house another time that had been arranged for him to go and buy narcotics?
Interesting, because after that anonymous Dave call on Truth and Transparency and Drunk Turkey show, Truth and Transparency, he really goes into detail about the substances and sales. I mean, in detail, where I was like, damn, I better mute my my audio on this video. But the Drunk Turkey show, a little more laid back. I think maybe he was just really nervous in that first one. I mean, I'm sure he would be. He said he was even nervous in the Drunk Turkey show one. He didn't go into too much detail, but he still did discuss that topic in the Drunk Turkey show. So I'm interesting, like now, like his theory here, or one of them, that he was actually, he visited there often because he was getting substances, possibly. It's an interesting thought. What do you guys think? You think maybe that's why they thought he was stalking the victims, but really he wasn't stalking them? He was swinging by for some substances?
I have no idea anymore. But kind of makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder, like, is that why he came out so adamant? because his DNA would have already been all over the place anyway, just like any of their other people that partied in the house, even at times when none of the residents were at the home and there was a huge party going on. That wasn't uncommon either. It was like all these
Right.
houses just left their doors open and they just went, you know. And it was interesting though. They weren't allowed to have hard liquor. They were only allowed to have beer. If you lived on campus, you could only have beer, no hard liquor. Thought that was interesting too.
There's a college just down the road from me that you can't have any alcohol at all on their campus. I'm trying to remember what it was called though.
Is it like a private?
It's a Christian college, so I'm not sure if they're private or what, but it had some weird
that
rules.
is. If it's Christian, it's private.
Yeah, because they had they had some wacky rules. I dated a girl that went there, and I was like, "Wait, so you can go out and get wasted, but then you can't come back on the campus until you're sobered up? So, like, if you go out have a good night and somebody leaves you behind, and you got to sleep on the street if that's your only option." I was really confused by some of the rules.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's strict as hell.
But
I'm sure it's strict as hell. Angelic, I would love to hear your theory. If you feel comfortable hopping up and telling us about it, please do. I would love to. She says, my theory completely different.
Yeah, we don't bite too
I would
hard.
love to hear it.
We don't bite too hard. Come on up.
We all have our own theories, but some of them have similarities to them. Some of them don't. We all kind of have our own. I would definitely like to explore yours. There's somebody else that was messaging messages in the comment section. I'd like to hear their theories and opinions too. So if you're watching on replay and you know who you are, hop on up any time as well. You're more than welcome. Yeah, let me know if you want to hop up. There's the link. I'll go ahead and add you up here. Tell us about it. All right, I'm going to look at the we'll go to the next one here. Now, that is some interesting stuff I hadn't even thought about before. Maybe he was going by there. His car was pinging there. He had excuses to be there prior. So now it makes you wonder, all that chatter about, there was some chatter going on maybe a week ago or so about maybe him and BF possibly having some kind of connection.
I
So
heard
now
that.
that makes you,
I heard that too, CJ.
yeah, now it makes you wonder even more when you hear that, because you gotta, the Drunk Turkey show, Anonymous Dave Call and Truth and Transparency. I mean, you gotta understand, yes, it's a source that's anonymous. You know what I'm. That's you take it with a grain of salt, but it doesn't mean you can't explore or try and make sense to some of the things that are being said. Whether you believe them or not, or they're real or not, it's something to explore anyway, because that's how you find the truth. You explore all areas and you get rid of the ones that are not probable. So this is Minutes of Horror. We haven't checked I think we checked out their channel maybe once a while ago. They had a really cool video, so I'm going to play this one. Yes, we have checked it out a couple times because that icon. I remember that icon now. That thing's cool as hell. The neon clock with the handprint, pretty neat. Minutes of Horror. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So we will share this real quick. Let me see here. Minutes of Horror. Where'd it go? So, Minutes of Horror. Here's the link in the chat. He acted alone. This was not his first rodeo. And the unalive happened on the SK's B-Day. Never been up. We'll think about it. Well, you're more than welcome to call in, too, if you want to. I have a phone number you can call. Here, let me put it up there real quick. If you're more comfortable calling, I have my own separate screen for the live call, and we'll still have the panel up. We'll just hear your audio. Now, if anybody does ever call in, you can leave a voicemail. You can leave a text message. Let me know. But always just let me know if you did try to call and I miss it, because it is kind of buggy. Just let me know in chat, or send me a message, a direct message, and let me know. And then I can go ahead and make sure I click on it again to make sure it'll allow it to go through. But yeah, you're more than welcome to if you'd like to. So she thinks he acted alone, but that it wasn't his first rodeo. And it says, I have more thoughts. There are 4 other unsolved. Guess what? That's interesting. All on SK's B-Day too. Think people look at Kohberger and say how. Man, I want to hear this, Angelic. Maybe next week. How about this? If you're not comfortable hopping up on panel, do me a favor. If you can send me email or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, just type it out. Type out the whole thing, and then I want to hear what you have to say. Now, what SK's B-Day? Whose B-Day was it? All right, so we're going to go into this video real quick. I'm interested to hear I want to hear that theory. I'm interested as hell. Okay. Minutes of Horror, Idaho unalives, surprising evidence against Kohberger. So I want to hear what they have to say about the evidence here real quick.
So I want to talk about Brian Kohberger, the preliminary hearing, and the grand jury indictment. I do see videos and people on Reddit bashing the prosecution, saying they don't want the smoke of a preliminary hearing, that there's still exculpatory evidence for Brian, to even the prosecution mishandling evidence. Yet people fail to remember it was Brian Kohberger's defense team first to waive the preliminary hearing in the first place, which there are some upsides in doing so, such as being given more time to go over evidence further, or hoping prosecution slips up. But there are some downsides, such as given the...
Hold on a minute. Did they just say that the defense... What?
The prosecution mishandling evidence. Yet people fail to remember it was Brian Kohberger's defense team first to waive the preliminary hearing in the first place, which there are some upsides in doing so, such as being given more time to go over evidence further, or hoping prosecution slips up. But there are some downsides, such as giving the prosecution enough time to convene a grand jury, which they did. People want Brian Kohberger to be found guilty so badly that they do believe the prosecution has to play by the defense's rules. But They don't understand these are pretty much two sports teams going head to head.
Thank you,
And
Angel.
unfortunately, during that time, the grand jury was able to see a lot more evidence than what's in the affidavit, and it didn't work out for Brian Kohberger. Now, whether Brian Kohberger is innocent or guilty, all we can really hope for is that he does get a fair trial, and if he is guilty, the families do get their justice. Now, there was a lot of evidence collected, 10,000 pages of reports and other written materials, 10,200 photographs, 9,200 51 terabytes of audio, visual media, and other digital materials. Now, this could be a lot of nothing. It could just be Brian Kohberger's phone bills, could be paperwork, it could be websites he browsed over time, all this adding up. But I do want you to hear what the Idaho Moscow police captain has to say after they went ahead and investigated Brian Kohberger's apartment.
Lots of parts of this case that are going to be surprising to most.
So there's bombshells that haven't dropped.
We are not done yet.
Now, I do believe there are going to be a lot of surprises in this case, and none of these surprises are going to be good for Brian Kohberger's defense team. So let's say in this bulk of evidence, there are some big surprises in store. What exactly could they be? Brian Kohberger having the victim's DNA or their particles in his apartment wouldn't be very surprising. It wouldn't be very shocking. If he is the suspected Idaho murderer, then it would be common knowledge that he would have their DNA on him. I do believe there will be a few surprising moments. I do believe there will be other DNA that will be linked to Brian Kohberger that was inside the apartment. I also do believe whatever's on his phone or on his computer will also be very surprising, whether he did talk to the roommates or he was cyber stalking them. And also, I do strongly believe that if he is guilty, he did end the lives of 4 young, healthy, fit adults, that this was not Brian Kohberger's first rodeo. There is the fact that the Jutons case is still open. There is the fact that Sandra Ladd's killer still has not been caught. Now, I'm not going to go into all the detail, how eerily similar all these murders were. I did make another video on that. But like I said, if this man is indeed guilty, do you strongly believe that this was his first murder? Now, there is also the possibility that there is another murder, that there is another killer. The gag order is in place, so the police can't talk about much. But I can't see the police not alarming the public that there is another murderer on the loose. And when I say another murderer, I don't mean that Brian Kohberger is innocent and that someone else committed these crimes. I mean that he got help, that he got assistance. So if the police are aware that someone did assist in a quadruple murder and they're on the loose and they're not alarming the public, that's a very scary thought. I mean, I don't know how the gag order works. I don't know if they have to tell that somebody who assisted in a quadruple homicide is on the loose. But again, yeah, I would think they would let us know that at least. But of it all, the defense could have some evidence that could surprise us, that could shock us. Maybe Brian Kohberger does have a solid alibi. Maybe somebody can vouch for him. I don't know what that could be. I mean, what's the only thing he could really say is other than he was sleeping. And like I said, it is a known fact that Brian Kohberger is an insomniac. So that doesn't really look good for him. But you never know. The defense could have something that could really blow our minds. It also doesn't look good that Brian Kohberger doesn't really have anybody out there talking positively about him, which is kind of sad in a way. I mean, you even have friends of his saying how he was a drug addict, how they would have to ride him around town for drugs.
Right.
And then you had fellow college students that would say that he had a dead stare, that he was creepy. You had bar owners say that female patrons would call him creepy. They would have to keep tabs on him. Yes, he was never in trouble with the law, but you have all these people speaking negatively about him and nobody really speaking positively about him. Even his own aunt by marriage had something negative to say, that he was a real OCD vegan, which in a way that you look at it, it may not be negative, but she did call it weird. So I guess we'll throw that into the negative pile. So in this video, I just wanted to quickly say that the preliminary hearing being canceled is not the prosecution's fault. And also, with all this evidence, we have to look back to when the Idaho Moscow police captain said, there are quite a few surprises here. Well, anyway, did this grand jury indictment change your mind or outlook on the case? Do you believe he's still innocent, or do you happen to believe he's guilty? I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember, we haven't gone to trial yet, so a lot of this is still our opinions. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.
What a great fucking video. That's great production right there. Damn. I just learned it today to put the, not those things, but the things that pop up in the top right of the screen when a video pops up. I just learned that shit yesterday. I'm learning. Fucking how many months later? 8 months later? 7 months later? I learned how to put that shit on there. I just came across it on accident. I was like, what's this? Oh, sweet. I'm not in YouTube Studio that much, so I don't really know that much about YouTube Studio. Damn, you got some interesting facts and theories there, Angelic. Damn, we might have to have some of this. Damn, we might have to have some of this talk on Twitch Saturday night in the sub-only show. Mix it up. Holy shit. Man, that's interesting. Would you want to, Angelic, would you feel comfortable calling the phone number? Because you don't have to be a Twitch sub if you're going to make a call, but you will be to have to watch it. But I believe if you call in, you actually hear whatever's on the actual the show. I'm not 100% positive though. Man, that sounds so interesting. I'm gonna have to go through and read the live chat replay. I gotta write all that stuff down. Dang. That shit sounds interesting. Thank you. This is crazy. This is something that came out today while I was at work. Actually, pretty early in the day. The University of Idaho is now affiliated with the University of Phoenix. You know why? University of Idaho paid $550 million to buy the University of Phoenix. That's a lot of freaking money. That's a lot of freaking money for a college that only has, what, 18,000? Where they can just buy another university. No, I might be mistaken, but isn't that the University of Phoenix? Isn't that one of those online things that always gets promoted on MTV commercials late at night?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
You get the Rallies commercial, and then you got University of Phoenix. Man, Rallies sounds so good too.
Oh, that place is awesome.
Oh, you know, Rallies, them fries.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever that seasoning is. So let me kind of scroll through here real quick. I don't know why I have some Jesse McFadden stuff up there. Now, public defender talks about former client. So is this new? So is this the PA public defender? Whoa. Then we're going to go into that Cuomo episode next. I don't want to, but I have to. Oh my gosh, Rallies.
And I'm
So
Scott
good.
Schaefer. We begin tonight with indictment against suspected killer Brian Kohberger.
The native of Monroe County, Kohberger was indicted by a secret 16-person grand jury in Idaho today. Newswatch 16's Jack Colkin is here tonight. He spoke with the Monroe County public defender who represented Kohberger at his extradition hearing. Jack.
Scott and Lisa, while he is not representing Brian Kohberger anymore, Monroe County Public Defender Jason LaBar has been keeping a close eye on this case.
With the news of suspected killer Brian Kohberger's recent grand jury indictment, Monroe County Public Defender Jason LaBar says he doesn't think it changes anything for his former client, who said he was eager to get back to Idaho to be exonerated.
This indictment is really just the formal charging instrument against Brian. It's just formalizing the allegations. Idaho will still have to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So I think his stance would remain the same.
Skipping a preliminary hearing in a case like this can hinder a defense, according to LaBar, but it also works in its favor by not allowing any to be released that could influence potential jurors.
The defense doesn't have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses as part of a grand jury proceeding. So we won't know what was testified in the grand jury proceeding. We won't know who the Commonwealth called to testify. That's a huge downside. So you're weighing that against Brian's right to have a fair trial.
Kohberger's arraignment is scheduled for this upcoming Monday. LaBar says there's no knowing what information will be released.
It's going to be limited. I don't know if there's going to be more than the 4 homicide charges on that document. I don't know if it's going to say whether or not they'll be seeking the death penalty.
As it stands, LaBar expects the case of Brian Kohberger to continue on schedule.
Most homicides under my jurisdiction usually take a year and a half, 2 years to go to trial, unless there's extraordinary circumstances that would allow the defense team to feel comfortable to take it to trial sooner or earlier. Usually that time frame is about right to me, 18 months to 2 years. A capital case could drag out longer potentially.
CJ.
Did he leave us?
I don't know.
No, YouTube was
Good evening, I'm Lisa Washington.
YouTube was bugging out. Sorry.
I thought I was going to do another woodworking segue.
I'm going to hop out. If that's okay.
Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a good night, Kitty.
All right, you too.
Yeah,
Night,
Angelic. We actually did a couple episodes a long time ago when those came out, and we read through all the visual snow stuff, the Reddit posts, the survey questions. I still have all those documents saved. I just have to find them because that was with a different format for the show. I know I have them. They're somewhere in my internet files there that I have like bookmarks and stuff. Yeah, definitely read through those, and especially the survey questions. That's what we went over first, and those were creepy as shit. Creepy as shit. You know, asking people, you know, how did you feel? I mean, you know what? Give me a second. Let me see if I can find them. Hold on. There's another video I want to play, and I'll see if I can find them while we're playing this video, and then we'll get it wrapped up. Where's it at? Okay. Indictment. What does it matter? Let me see. Setback. All right. Here we go. It's Cuomo.
Now, to the top story. The middle of the night, news broke. Sudden change in the case against Brian Kohberger. There was supposed to be a preliminary hearing. It's where the prosecution comes out and lays out why they have the first hurdle of proof to charge, which is probable cause that a crime
Give me 1 second. I'm going to refresh that so it gets better. I'm having the technician come out tomorrow, so it's going to be all good tomorrow night.
Now, to the top story. The middle of the night, news broke. Sudden.
There we go. And it's good, too, because it'll be fixed for game night. Can't wait, man. Yeah, you'll be the first guest on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Kevin. I can't wait. I'm excited for that.
Change in the case of Brian Kohberger. There was supposed to be a preliminary hearing. It's where the prosecution comes out and lays out why they have
Whoa, good night,
the first
Kevin.
hurdle.
I didn't know you
proof
left.
to charge, which is probable cause that a crime has been committed, and it is by
I thought you were still up
the
here, man.
defendant, in this case, Brian Kohberger. This is very important, not just for the criminal justice
Gotta be your
process, but
internet.
for the defense. Why? Because they get a bite at the apple of understanding what's coming their way, why prosecutors think what they think. Instead, there was a grand jury convened, and the grand jury ended up in an indictment against Kohberger on 4 counts of first-degree murder. So there will be no preliminary hearing. 4 counts for first-degree murder and burglary. Why? We'll discuss, but the short answer is prosecutors do this. They layer charges. You went into the house without invitation. That's trespass in a home. That's burglary. And then you killed people. So just in case they don't get him on the murder charge, they have the backup of the burglary charge. Very different charge, not as much time, but it can carry significant time. So it's a way of safeguarding themselves, bootstrapping their case. So the question becomes, why the change? Was this about information or evidence that compelled prosecutors to do it this way? Or is it just a tactic? The indictment means the grand jury determined there was enough evidence to convict him, probable cause. So is there new evidence, or is this just a way of getting it done without a preliminary hearing? And why would prosecutors want to do that? Let's bring in the better legal minds to discuss. Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, high-profile defense attorney Mark Garagos, Florida State Attorney Dave Arenberg. It's good to have the dream team here. Coffindaffer, in making cases, what do you sniff out here? Is this about something new, or do you think this is about what prosecutors just wanted to do, and if so, why?
This is a great strategic win for the prosecution. They made the right choice here. I think this grand jury was convened some time ago, and they've been looking over the evidence, and it just so happens this is the date it came up. But this is something that blindsided the defense, just as it blindsided some people in our audience and us possibly. We always thought they should go to grand jury, and they did.
Mark Garagos, I hop to you as being on the defense side of the ball. Why do you like when there's a preliminary hearing, and what do you think of this change?
What you love about a preliminary hearing is a defense lawyer is you get cross-examination of the witnesses. The difference, they're both probable cause proceedings. The grand jury is a probable cause proceeding. The preliminary hearing is. The main difference is that when you go by way of a grand jury, you eliminate those pesky defense lawyers asking your witnesses questions or challenging the evidence. You get basically a loaded deck if you're the prosecution. You had said something in the setup, and I don't know the answer to that. There are jurisdictions, I mean, in federal court, you almost never get a preliminary hearing. It's almost always by way of a grand jury indictment. In California, it's quite the opposite. In state court, you almost always get a preliminary hearing and not by way of a grand jury. I don't know what the culture is in defense was unaware, or to quote Coffindaffer, if they were blindsided by this, then that speaks volumes as to what the prosecution's motivations were.
Dave Arenberg, does this lend the possibility that prosecutors did not want their proof tested any more than it absolutely has to be, and that's why they went this way, so that this is somewhat of a vote of no confidence in the case?
No, Chris, I wondered why prosecutors just didn't go to the grand jury, why they even entertained the idea of a preliminary hearing. It serves them no purpose. It allows the defense to see. Remember, there's the interesting issue of Bethany Funk. She was the witness there. who the defense subpoenaed to appear at the preliminary hearing, and she didn't want to testify. She wanted to quash that subpoena. Well, now that's all moot because there will be no preliminary hearing. So having a preliminary hearing only helps the defense, and that's why I expected this day to come. I just didn't know when.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com.
Oh, come on,
And you
YouTube.
can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the...
There we go. So I'm going to share this with you guys here real quick. And I'll put the link in chat so you can save it for your records. This is the crime survey questions from Brian Kohberger. The crime research study. This is Brian Kohberger's right here. So check out the link. It's multiple pages. It is a survey. It has responses to it. It's crazy. Definitely a good read through sometime. And then this is the definition of a grand jury. A jury typically of 23 people selected to examine the validity of an accusation before trial. So they'll be there Monday. Supposed to be cameras. 2 cameras. 1 with photography. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be a long time until this trial even starts to take place. You're talking mid to late 2024, maybe even pushing into 2025. It's going to be quite a while. So, isn't that crazy though? University of Idaho purchased University of Phoenix from the top of the United States to the bottom of the United States. It's very odd. Whoa, YouTube's being buggy. Yeah, we'll have all that fixed for tomorrow night. It's actually going to be fixed in the early afternoon, so I won't be able to do my live in the afternoon, but we'll get it all fixed up and good to go. Back for the evening. All right. Thanks for hanging out. It was a good episode. I can't believe the shit in the beginning. Definitely some crazy shit. Especially when you're learning more and more about these sick, just how deep that shit goes.
Yeah.
Freaking survey questions. One more time, I'll throw that link because I know it's an important one. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. We'll see if there's anything breaking coming out. I might do it. I don't know. I ain't been getting shit for sleep lately, so I might just go to bed.
Hey, you gotta take care of yourself, man.
Got a half day tomorrow. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a long night tomorrow. We got a lot of games coming up. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to introduce Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Hopefully all the Kid Kitty and Dre and the sisters can hop up. I apologize last weekend. It wasn't working out, but I got it figured out by Sunday, so we're all good. But yeah, go ahead and hop off. If who knows if the person comes early, because sometimes people cancel. Maybe they'll come early and I'll just hop on and hang out and do some live breaking news, see what's going on live. We'll just see what's going on out in the world. Just hang out.
And like
I don't know. We'll see.
And like I said earlier, I am going to try to get my live stream done tomorrow because I really need to do something because, after the last week, I almost threw the towel in again, and I need something to give me something to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, just let them know, man. Put out a notification. Or do you know when you're going live tomorrow already? Or
It depends on what time I get up and what all I've got going on. Because like I got to go get my car looked at, so I can get plates for it, and a couple other things coming up that I got to have everything ready for.
Well,
if I
I'll
can
tell
get
you
help
what.
cleaning.
Early notification always helps, man. You know. So
Yeah.
if you're able to put out a notification like I do for the streams, it definitely helps. Letting people know ahead of time.
I try to, and I know I can.
Good night, SRB.
But of course, I almost always end up going live early anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, if you do, I'll be on. And then after I'm home, I'm probably, who knows when this guy's showing up. It's a 2-hour window, so I got to sit there and wait, have the computer down there and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
all right, man. Well, have a good night. Thanks for hopping up and hanging out tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow. Definitely come back for game night. Shit's going to be fun as hell. It's going to be fun as hell. I can't wait. Hope you all have a peaceful and positive evening. Thank you for hanging out. And I will see you tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. Got to get that cable internet fixed, though. Good night, everybody.
Yep. Have a good one.
System malfunction. Welcome to the future.